Hey, what's good, people, man? It's the Health and Wellness Dread, aka the Platinum Bearded Dread. Yeah, man. Now, they don't call it the hardest job in the world for nothing. Well, I think it is anyway. What am I talking about? Parenting. Yeah, parenting, man. I remember, like it was yesterday, I was broke 4 a.m. We had to rush to the hospital, get a cab, and all that stuff. And then before we knew it, we was in the ward, and we had about 7 or 8 doctors and nurses rushing back and forth frantically. And that's because she was expecting twins. And normally when it's like twins or triplets or quadruplets or bigger numbers, there's risk factors involved. So that's why they have so many doctors and nurses. But anyway, I could hear in the ward that we was in, Bob Marley, No Woman No Cry, playing in the background. Yeah. Anyway, the first twin pops out. Like, they use these forceps, I think they're called, to ease his head out. And then 10 minutes later, twin number 2 pops out, leg first. Wrinkly blue leg just popped out first in all its glory. And then they wash him up. Before we know it, after a couple of days, we've got these 2 bundles of joy to take home. And that's when it all begins, man. That's when your lives are changed forever. And this post really is for those who are thinking of becoming parents or who are parents. Because let's face it, parenting is not easy, man. And I just want to, as a father, offer up some tips, man, that might make the journey a bit easier. One thing I would say is that if you are looking to have a child, then if you've got any like goals or immediate goals and and things that you want to do, then you might want to park that for a little bit, for the first stage at least, because when you have a child, it's like you're doing a 360. Now all of a sudden, it's not about you at all. It's about the child, because the child needs you for everything. So you might want to put those little things on hold, particularly mums. Because let's face it, man, they do most of the work, man. Trust me, I'm a ride or die dad still, but it's hard to compete with what mum does. And she also deserves the flowers as well. So I'll put that on hold, at least for the first day. I remember when our twins were brought little, and in the first 4 years at least, we didn't get a full night's sleep. Yeah, man, I was walking around like a zombie, real talk. It was so bad that one night I accidentally dropped one of the twins down the side of the bed. I know, man. Yeah, that's how tired I was, man. She fed better than I did, but yeah, mums usually do, man. But anyway, so bear that in mind as you go into parenting. The first bit of advice I would offer up is listening. Now, listening is one of those skills that is important in general to develop, but it's crucial when it comes to children. Because I know, as adults, as parents, we've got a million and one things to do, and we're busy. But we forget that these are little minds that are forming, and they still need us, even though we are busy. And we need to be able to show our child that we can put everything down and give them our full attention. They need to talk about something. And it's something that we need to develop from young, so that as they grow, they'll always know that if they need a word or two, we're not going to just be having half our attention on them and half our attention on something else. So that's something to establish from a young age, listening. And it could solve a lot of problems that may come up later on down the line. The second thing I would say, which is close to listening, is checking in on them. Always constantly checking on your child. You have to remember that, particularly as they go into secondary school, they're spending all these hours and primary outside of the home under all these influences, so we don't really see them. In fact, we see them less during the week than the school does and their peers do. And so we need to keep checking up on them just to make sure things are okay. I remember when my mum would just come at the door, stop at my bedroom door. She didn't really want anything. She just be there for a few minutes just to see. And as a teenager, you're like, oh man. But looking back on it, I can see how valuable it is, man. Because you're just basically showing them that I'm here. If you need anything, I'm here. I can't stress that enough, man. Because with all the pressures that young people are going through, you've got like self-harming and suicide notes and the vaping and gang violence. There's so much going on, and they need us more than ever. The third thing I would say is, and this one is, it's not easy, but try as a parent as much as you can to raise your children to tell the truth and to be honest. The reason why I say this is because with the way the world is today, we don't know what's going to befall tomorrow on us and our children. But one thing we do want to know is that we can put our hand on our heart and say, if news comes to us about our child, we know whether or not that's our child. We can say, hand on heart, that's not my child. Raise them to tell the truth. Give them a reward, even if it's what you don't like, even if it's what you don't like to hear, or you don't want to hear. From a young age, let that be a principle in them that they develop, knowing that even if they're going to get in trouble, they know that telling the truth is of paramount importance. When they're little, like I said, give them a reward for telling the truth, so that becomes part of their character, personality. So wherever they are, you can trust your child. And it may even one day save your child's life as well. The last thing I would add is, as parents, don't lose your childlike spirit. It's easy for us to, because of all these responsibilities that we have, forget that we were children once. And it's so important that our children see us in states of joy and laughter, because it will help them to have a wider scope of what it is to be a human being as an adult, but it also gives them more happier memories. Remember, the only thing that's supposed to be stiff is a corpse, man, and we're not corpses. So let's not forget that we were children once. And not only that, it adds to our own quality of life as well. But yeah, I know that parenting can be hard, man. You're always going to feel like you're getting it wrong. People are going to criticize how you do things. You get no thanks for it. And it will take you through every emotion in the book. From the highest highs to the lowest lows. But when all is said and done, it's a relationship like no other, man. You will live on in them forever, and they will never forget you. And what makes it so unique is that in one form or another, that relationship will continue forever. So yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. Let me know your thoughts on how the experience has been for you raising children. Has it been a joyful one, a stressful one, somewhere in between? Or are you about to have a child and you have doubts and concerns? Write down your comments. I read them all and I always respond. It's a health and wellness dread, aka the Platinum Bearded Dread. Sign off. Oh yeah, don't forget, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We can do this again. Yeah, man.